Welcome to Speak English with Tiffani. I am Teacher Tiffani. Let's jump right in. All right, there are 7 different ways to improve your reading skills. The first way is to read out loud. You see, you read the text, passage, book, or blog in a good speaking voice. Try to be loud, but don't scream. Also, you want to be loud enough to hear yourself. So try to go to a secluded place. Now, I want to explain this word to you. Secluded just means a place where there are not a lot of people, okay? A place where there are only a few people or not a lot of people, okay? So we say a place where you can be alone, okay? A place where you can be alone, we say is a secluded place, all right? Now, there are 3 benefits to this method, okay? The first benefit is you become more engaged with the information because you are using your eyes and your ears. Now, when you're reading the information out loud, you're speaking and you're also using your ears as you read, okay? All right, the second benefit is it helps you improve your pronunciation because you will begin to listen to yourself more intently. All right. So again, I pointed this out in the first benefit, but the more you read out loud, the more you will listen to yourself and you'll begin to see which words you're pronouncing correctly and which words you're not pronouncing correctly. Okay. All right. Number 3, the third benefit. Reading out loud actually helps to improve your comprehension. This is because reading out loud helps you to internalize the words you are reading. Now, I want to explain this word internalize, okay? This means to go inside, okay? To go inside and understand, okay? To go inside and understand. Okay, so let me explain what this means related to reading out loud. The information comes from the book. We say it. It goes to our ears. And then this information goes inside of our brain. Okay, so this is what it means to internalize. You've read it. You've heard it, and then you go here and understand it in your brain, okay? So that's what the word internalize means, all right? So again, step 1 or method 1 is to read out loud. All right, now let's look at the second method. The second method is to read various topics, okay? After recognizing what topics you are interested in, look for English material about those topics. But remember to not simply focus on one topic. You want to get a variety of different topics. So you'll notice over here, this is actually a comic book. This is a book about nature. And this is a book about business. So I have different topics to read about, okay? Now let's look at the benefits of doing or using this method. The first benefit is you will be exposed to a wide variety of vocabulary words. So your vocabulary will also improve. All right, so again, this method will really help your vocabulary improve, which will also improve and increase your ability to read in English very well. All right, number 2. You will not become bored with your English studies because you will have different topics to read about. So again, you won't be bored because there are so many topics for you to read about. So you'll have a desire to read more, okay? And finally, you will begin to make connections between the various topics. Basically, you will see common patterns that occur in written English material. Again, your reading skill will also improve as you are able to recognize these patterns, okay? So that's why it's so important to use this method of reading various topics. All right, let's keep going. Method number 3, read new words. When you see a vocabulary word that you have never seen before, repeat the word 5 to 10 times out loud. If you don't know the pronunciation, you can find it in the dictionary and then repeat after listening to the audio file, okay? So you want to repeat words over and over that you don't know or that you are not familiar with, okay? Now here's the benefit. You will begin to recognize which part of the word is difficult to pronounce, okay? What happens is when you first say the word, you're going to realize and notice that your tongue or your mouth has a hard time pronouncing certain parts of that word. Well, the next time you say that, you will actually focus on that part so that you can say it better. So this will help you with your pronunciation, okay? Next, you will gain confidence in your ability to say the word, which will increase your fluency. So the next time when you're speaking to your friends, if that word that you saw in the book or whatever you were reading, since you said it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or more times, you will now have confidence and you will be more fluent when you speak and use that word, okay? All right, and finally, you will become more familiar with the word. Your reading skill is connected with your knowledge of vocabulary and also with your fluency. They go hand in hand, okay? All right, so again, method 3, read new words. All right, method number 4, read often daily. Okay, so you read often, and my suggestion is to read daily. So try to read as often as possible. You can choose to read every day or every other day, but it is important to set aside a specific amount of time for reading. To start, let's say you can read for 5 minutes and then move up to 20 or 30 minutes. It all depends on your schedule. You may be too busy to do 20 minutes, but you can do 5 minutes. All right, so let's look at the benefits, okay? The first benefit, you will begin to understand and comprehend more how native English speakers think, okay? So the more you are reading, the more you are spending time on a daily basis trying to understand English or papers that were written in English, the more you will actually understand native speakers, okay? All right, next, you will start to read faster and with more confidence. The more you do something, the better you will get at it, okay? And finally, the third benefit, it will help to improve your vocabulary, comprehension, and ability to speak about various topics, okay? The more you read, the better you get. All right, let's move on. Number 5, read with a friend. Now, this is a very unique method, but I really like it. You see, find a friend who is also an English learner and pick an English book or blog to read together with them. You can take turns reading a sentence, a paragraph, or a page each. This will help you with your listening, your speaking, and your comprehension. So there are many benefits for this as well, but the top 3 are these, okay? Your desire to read will increase because it will become more fun because you're doing it with a friend. This is because you will be reading with a partner or friend, all right? This is exactly what I just said. It's going to be more enjoyable because you're not doing it alone. Instead, there are 2 people, you and your friend, working and reading together, okay? All right, number 2, you will recognize how your friend reads and you will help them improve, which will also help you improve. So again, by recognizing your friend's weaknesses or strong points, it will have an effect on you and will help you improve as well. And finally, the third benefit is you will improve your listening skills. Remember, reading is also connected with your ability to understand and listen well, okay? So this method, reading with a friend, will really help you improve in these areas. All right. Let's move on to method number 6, all right? So method number 6 is read 3 times. Yep, you heard right. Read 3 times. So similar to reading the same word over and over, this method requires you to read the same thing more than once. However, this focuses more on reading an entire passage or page more than once, okay? So let's go to the benefits really quickly. All right, so benefit number 1. This will greatly improve your comprehension skills. Now, I want to tell you quickly about my experience. What happened to me was the first time I read a passage, there were many parts that I did not understand. However, after going to the second time, I began to understand a little bit more because there was a familiarity. I remembered some of the things I had read from the passage the first time. So when I moved to the third time of reading the passage, I really began to comprehend or understand what the person was trying to explain, okay? All right, number 2. It will help you with proper pronunciation and fluency. Basically, you will begin to read at a more natural pace. You see, the more familiar you are with a piece of literature, the easier it will be for you to read faster and at a normal pace. All right, and finally, number 3, it will help you recognize and then become familiar with new vocabulary words, patterns, and sentence structures. All of these things will affect your ability to understand, but they will also affect your ability to speak properly, okay? So again, method number 6, read 3 times. Okay, method number 7. Method number 7 is read your level. Now, this is very important, okay? For this method, you need to find English reading material that you can understand. After skimming or reading over briefly over the information, see if you can understand at least 50%. If you can't, try to find something else to read. This is so important, okay? So, number 1, the first benefit. You will not feel as stressed, all right? I want to tell you about one of my students that I had, and actually a couple of my students in the past who experienced this. You see, they wanted to look at CNN and read articles from CNN and also look at other news articles, but they were getting so frustrated. Why? Because they didn't understand even 10% of what the article was saying. So they were getting frustrated. That's why I said this method is so important. You need to read your level. Make sure you can understand at least 50% and then continue reading that article or blog post or different material that you have with you. Okay, so let's move on to number 2. You will improve your reading ability at the proper pace. Sometimes when you're studying English and you're trying to improve your reading skill, you want to jump too fast. But you need to do it at a natural pace. So focus on reading at your level and then you will improve steadily, okay? Not too quickly, all right? And finally, you will desire to read more. This is so important. Since you understand a portion of the information, you will want to read even more information, okay? So you will realize that suddenly there's an enjoyment that you experience when you are reading because you understand the information, okay? All right, I want to remind you that if you have not already signed up to join my weekly newsletter, where you will receive free printable lessons in English on a weekly basis, please go right now and visit speakenglishwithtiffani.com/weekly so that you can join my weekly newsletter. And remember to watch the next English video lesson by clicking the video on the left side of your screen. And as always, remember to speak English.